Welcome to our Master Python from Beginner to Pro course. In today's video, we will dive deep into Python syntax. We'll cover key topics such as indentation, comments, statements, expressions, whitespaces, line continuation, and code blocks and scope. Let's get started. First, let's talk about indentation. In Python, indentation is used to define the level of nesting of code blocks. Unlike many other programming languages that use braces or keywords, Python relies on indentation for this purpose. Here, the print statement is indented by 4 spaces, or just by pressing the Tab key. This indicates that it belongs to the if block. In this example, we have a nested if block. The second print statement is further indented to show its nesting level. This will raise an indentation error because the print statement is not indented properly. Both print statements are correctly indented, indicating they belong to the if block. Indentation is also crucial in defining the body of functions and nested blocks within them. Next, let's look at comments. Comments are used to explain code and are ignored by the interpreter. There are single-line comments and multi-line comments. A single-line comment starts with a hashtag symbol. The interpreter ignores everything on the line after the hashtag. You can also place comments at the end of a line of code. These are called inline comments. For multi-line comments, you can use triple quotes. However, these are technically multi-line strings and are not commonly used for comments. Docstrings are a type of comment used to describe functions, classes, or modules. They are enclosed in triple quotes and can span multiple lines. You can also use comments to temporarily disable code. This is useful for debugging purposes. Moving on to statements. A statement is an instruction that the Python interpreter can execute. There are various types of statements in Python. An assignment statement assigns a value to a variable. Here, the value 5 is assigned to the variable x and 10 to y. The print statement outputs data to the console. An if statement evaluates a condition and executes code based on whether the condition is true. A loop statement repeats a block of code multiple times. Here, the for loop iterates over a range of numbers. A function definition statement defines a function. The greet function takes a parameter and prints a greeting message. Now, let's discuss expressions. An expression is a combination of values, variables, operators, and calls to functions that the interpreter evaluates and produces another value. This arithmetic expression evaluates to 17. Python follows the order of operations, also known as BODMAS/BIDMAS rules. A Boolean expression evaluates to true or false. Here, the expression checks if x is equal to 5. String expressions can concatenate multiple strings using the plus operator. This expression calls the len function, which returns the length of a string. List comprehension is a concise way to create lists. This expression generates a list of squares of numbers from 0 to 4. Whitespaces are used in Python to improve readability. However, they should be used correctly to avoid syntax errors. It's a good practice to add spaces around operators for better readability. Avoid trailing whitespaces as they can cause issues in certain cases. PEP8 recommends using 4 spaces per indentation level, rather than tabs. Blank lines can be used to separate functions and classes, and to make the code more readable. Avoid excessive spaces within parentheses or around operators, as it can make the code look cluttered. Inline continuation allows you to split a long line of code into multiple lines for better readability. Implicit line continuation can be achieved by using parentheses. The line breaks after the plus operators are allowed within the parentheses. Explicit line continuation is achieved using the \\/ character. It indicates that the line continues on the next line. Line continuation is also used in defining lists. The list elements can be split across multiple lines. Dictionaries can also be split across multiple lines for better readability. When defining functions with multiple arguments, line continuation can be used to spread them across multiple lines. Finally, let's discuss code blocks and scope. Code blocks are a group of statements that are executed together. Scope determines the visibility of variables. Here, the function greet contains a code block. The variable message is only accessible within this block. In a loop, the indented statements form a code block. The variable I is accessible within this loop. Variables defined within a function have local scope and are not accessible outside the function. Variables defined outside of functions have global scope and are accessible throughout the script. In nested functions, the inner function can access variables from the outer function, but not vice versa. This demonstrates nested scope. That's a wrap for today's deep dive into Python syntax. We covered indentation, comments, statements, expressions, whitespaces, line continuation, and code blocks and scope. Understanding these fundamental concepts is crucial for writing clean and efficient Python code. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Python programming tutorials. See you in the next video.